So with this Florentine arch, step one is putting a line all the way through. Now I've drawn on halves either side to demonstrate that you need to finish on a half ready for your arch. So then we know this width is 800, so our span is 800, so we know our centre is 400. So we can put the introdos on, that's a simple one. Now our governing factor is obviously the brickwork gauge. Now ideally your point of your Florentine wants to be on a brickwork gauge. Now we know this is 400, so you don't really want to be in excess of 370, 375. So if you set it out at 10 courses of brick, as in 10 courses high, this would be 750. So the hardest part is trying to get your extrados, which is a drop Gothic, to work. So what I've done, it's a bit of trial and error. There are ways mathematically to do it, but trial and error is your quickest way. So I kind of thought, with my experience, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to come 150. Now, as you can see, I put LH. So this is your left-hand side of your Gothic. And then obviously this will be your right-hand side. Or this on the left, it does your right-hand side. So I guessed 150. And then I knew that my span was 400. Half the span was 400 plus 215. So I then hazard a guess, and I got very, very lucky. There you are, look, it worked. So you know now your trammel length is 765. Yeah. So now what our governing factor for putting the voice wires on is this key brick. At the top, it can be no more than 65. And when I cut these, any arch, any voice wire, I don't like to be close on the limits. So I would have no more than 60 mil at the top. So that's your governing factor. Now this is a tricky bit. We know that our diameter of our circle is 800. So if you go pi d, which is 800 times by pi, it's 2513. We've only got a semicircle to work out, so we need to halve that, which is 1257. Now, as I've already said, your governing factor is the top. So you need to kind of guess. It's going to be an odd number. If you started at 25, because you know 25 times 50 is 1250, you know if you do 50 in the introdos, it's going to be a lot more on the extrados. So I initially started at 35, worked it out, but I worked out that our best number of voice wires is 37 at 33 mil wide on the introdos. Okay, it has to be all worked out on the introdos. So then I've come to, and I've drawn on my 33s. Now, bearing in mind, I have not allowed for a joint. Okay, so this is all allowing no joints. Now, you could do this with a 1 mil joint. You could do this with a 10 mil joint. So therefore, you need to allow the joints on the bottom edge of each voice wire. So this would be your joint there, then it'd be there, and then obviously you'd have it there. But don't keep going around. Only go to the centre and work it out from both sides, and then you'll end up with a joint either side on your voice wire. So that takes that into account. So we now know we've got 19 to the centre. You only need to draw half, because if you were doing this as a template, you would only do half and then you'd flip it and it'd do this half. They are symmetrical. So therefore you only need to draw half. If you were doing this on a hardboard to cut out ready for your things, this is what you do. Now I've drawn on the stretcher. Now with this one, if I was doing it, I'd blank that one off and I'd make that a longer stretcher. So I'd get some colour in and I'd blank it. And then obviously then these pieces get bigger and bigger as you go. Now, if this was taller, I might even stick a closure in there. But this is sort of kind of within limits. It's about 125 to the top. So I would deem that okay. I wouldn't put a closure in this of this size. If it was longer, I would put a closure in it. So I've marked the stretchers, and then obviously you need to mark the halves on these ones, which I'll do now. So there you are, all done for your half.